Senior parents, you can come and join me on the field. Welcome to Morristown Baird's Burke Field, where our girls soccer team will take on Boonton High School. Before we honor our MBS girls soccer seniors, we would like to recognize and congratulate the seniors from Boonton High School and wish them the best of luck in all their future endeavors. At this time, we will honor the seniors from Morristown Baird School. First up, number 50, Jerry Moranis. Jerry has been a member of the MBS girls soccer program for 4 years, while also being the editor on the Crimson Sun, peer tutor, and peer leader. She serves as the leader of Active Minds Club, while also being part of the MBS basketball and lacrosse teams. In the classroom, Jerry is a member of both the Spanish and the Math Honor Society. Her continued dedication and willingness to help others has been a valued piece of our program throughout her time at MBS. Jerry is accompanied by her parents, Lenny and Barbara. Congratulations, number 50, Jerry Moranis. Manager, Brooklyn Chen. Brooklyn has been a member of the MBS girls soccer program for 4 years. During her senior year, she has transitioned into a manager role and has been the ideal person to take on that role. She brings an energy and enthusiasm to the entire team that few others bring. Brooklyn is also the ideal friend, always being there for her teammates no matter their situation. Outside of soccer, Brooklyn is a member of the MBS girls ice hockey and MBS girls lacrosse teams. Brooklyn is accompanied by her parents, Jean and Daniel. Congratulations, Brooklyn Chen. Goalkeeper, Mackenzie Dougherty. Mackenzie has been a member of the MBS girls soccer program for 4 years and has been a goalkeeper for both the JV and varsity teams. During her time with the team, she has grown as an athlete and a person. She has always been willing to assist her fellow players and her coaches regardless of the task. Mackenzie is also part of the MBS swim team for 4 years, team captain for 2 years. Outside of athletics, she's a member of the Athletic Leadership Council, Food Allergy Awareness Club, Mariah Club as an editor, the Gardening Club, GLOW, a senior writing tutor at the Center for Academic Writing, and in her free time, she volunteers at St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center in Madison. Today, Mackenzie is accompanied by her parents, Suzanne and Peter. Congratulations, goalkeeper Mackenzie Dougherty. Number 7, Barra Schiffman. Barra Barra has been a 4-year member of the MBS Varsity Girls Soccer Program. So far in her career, she has scored 4 goals and 2 assists and will look to add to those totals as the season continues. Outside of sports, Barra was selected to be a peer leader to our first-year students. This past summer, Barra was chosen to take part in a seminar program at Harvard. Her friendliness and welcoming personality have left a lasting impact on our teams, and we wish her well in her next steps. Today, Barra is accompanied by her parents, Jen and Scott. Congratulations, number 7, Barra Schiffman. Number 3, Bailey Schubert. Bailey has been a 4-year member of the MBS Varsity Program and was selected as a captain for her senior year. In her career, Bailey has scored 17 goals and registered 3 assists. Her 12 goals in only 9 games played during her junior year were the most scored in a season for the past 5 years. She has been a first-team all-conference selection, first-team all-prep selection, NJGSCA all-state selection, third-team all-county, and was named team MVP during her junior year. Outside of MBS, Bailey gives back by serving food to the homeless at Spring Street CDC, takes part in Bridges outreach, making food for the homeless, and plays for the football academy. Today, Bailey is accompanied by her parents, Heather and Phil. Congratulations, number 3, Bailey Schubert. At this time, we would like to congratulate the class of 2023 girls soccer, and good luck in today's match.
From Play-by-Play Productions as we join you from Morristown, New Jersey, on the campus of Morristown Baird High School. It is Senior Day 2023 for the MBS Crimson girls soccer team as they take the field to take on the Boonton Bombers. Hello and welcome. I'm Ralph Bednarchik, so happy to have you with me on this Tuesday afternoon. The Crimson here at 2-4, 2-3 in the NJAC Independence. They take on Boonton, who's 1-4 in the league, 1-5 overall. Boonton among the youngest teams in Morris County and frankly across the state of New Jersey with just one senior playing. MBS on Senior Day honoring 5 players. And they will start a very, very young team, and their circumstances find them also to be on the inexperienced side as well. So an opportunity for both sides to find a way to maybe pick up an early goal and a key victory in NJAC Independence Division play. Ceremony that we just carried here on Play-by-Play Productions. The seniors that will be honored for MBS, including injured senior Bailey Schubert, who unfortunately will not be able to play and participate today, and other seniors like Mackenzie Doherty. She will be the lone senior starting in goal, along with Brooklyn Chen and Jerry Moranis, who will be out there as well, I think, at some point. But it's a very young team for MBS that they'll play today and to play the big minutes. And for Boonton, only one senior in the lineup for first-year coach Wayne Barretto. He only has one senior on the entire roster. So the Bombers, who went 6-10 last year, 5-7 in the NJAC Independence, they also went through a major overhaul in terms of a new coach. This is their third different coach in 3 seasons, and also truly flipping the script in terms of lineup. MBS coming in off of a loss, back-to-back games where they played on the 21st and 22nd and the 20th, 5-1 to Kinnelon, after having an opportunity last week on last Thursday against Villa Walsh, where they lost 4-3. But in that game for second-year coach Mac Guidon, they led that game 3-0 at halftime. It seemed to carry over the next day, and now they've had several days of practice to mellow off of that and see if they can come out with a new attitude and they're trying to pick up a Senior Day win. For the Crimson, senior Mackenzie Doherty will be in goal out of a 4-3-3 alignment. The right back, junior Cole Heck. Opposite her, junior Rebecca Leonard on the right. Riley Sargent will be one center back, along with sophomore Hannah Mortazavi. And then the center mid in the 4-3-3, Gianna Acevedo with Barra Schiffman on her Senior Day. The 2 seniors that will start, Barra being the other, with Doherty in goal. The holding mid, sophomore Jamie Rosenblum. Up top, the talents of Jess Byrne. Jess Byrne is off to a terrific start. 3-year starter at forward, returning second-team All-Independence Division honors. She's at center forward with Clara Frey on the left and Sierra Mark on the right. MBS, the Crimson, in the maroon on maroon, and what a nice gesture here by Mac Guidon as Bailey Schubert will come out and get her Senior Day opportunity. Bailey unfortunately tearing her ACL early this season after a big season last year, second leading scorer with 12-1. Schubert in her first game tore her ACL 60 minutes into the game. Had 1 goal and 1 assist at Dover before that occurred. And Bailey's able to walk off the field under her own power in the ceremonial start. As MBS throws the ball out of bounds, and they'll give it to Boonton. So the Bombers are their first-year coach and former Rutgers player Wayne Barretto. In goal, he's got a freshman in Lacey Terwarbeek. She's coming off of 9 saves against Villa Walsh, 13 saves at Dover. Her older sister had also played for the program out of a 4-4-2 alignment with junior Jayla Meneses. Arita Zeka will be the left back, center back with Alexis Vicioli, and freshman Katie Jackamis. Megan Campos is a junior captain as the holding mid with talented freshman Anastasia Schauler-Little. And on the left, Rebecca Johnson. On the right, senior Addison Schollenberger, captain and lone senior that will play for Boonton. Up top, freshman Juliana Malisi and freshman Cameron Wyckoff are the 2 forwards for the Boonton Bombers today. Fortunately, the rain has held off, with the forecast showing that there's a small chance of it here in the Morristown area. And as MBS looks to attack and they look to check back to their forward, and Barra Schiffman nearly had the opportunity with the ball in her direction before the Bombers who are searching for consistency in terms of getting everybody involved in a system that Wayne Barreto is trying to employ moving forward and kind of use this as a foundation year. They only got one scrimmage in the preseason with a new head coach and a brand new team, so that hurts. And then Boonton, 2 games ago, the 20th at Dover, held a 2-0 lead until the final 10 minutes of the game and ended up losing in overtime at Dover. And the game experience that his team is hoping to gain from one like that and how to manage games. That one is towed out. Riley Sargent asked to play it out, so here's an early corner for Boonton. Senior Mackenzie Doherty getting the start today, honored for her senior day. Service in by Megan Campos. That searches top of the box, but does not beat the first defender. And MBS will come up with the clearance. And for the Crimson, as Byrne pursues the ball initially. And can the Crimson today find her in space with her powerful shot? As Byrne will leave it, and the Crimson a chance to send a nice through ball ahead. Here comes Clara Frey. Frey will get there. Frey will get the shot off just before Terwarbeek was a little late coming off of her line. Terwarbeek was starting very deep in her own goal inside her 6. Only a freshman that is learning the position. Lacey Terwarbeek has also had to recover from a preseason, early season wrist injury, and she and sophomore Genesis Milla have both been alternating in the position. So it ends up in a goal kick and the first glorious scoring opportunity for MBS. And Frey is the one that's had to step in with the injury to Bailey Schubert, who is a returning All-State player, first team All-Division, that would have been someone that, for a second-year coach, Mac Guidon, you anticipate is going to get double-digit goals, if not 15. Frey again. Frey around Terwarbeek, and it's also off target with no touch. This time Terwarbeek came out aggressively and was able to cut down the angle and forced Clara Frey to shoot with her left foot. Clara plays for STA Soccer in the club circuit, and her speed has made her a no-brainer to get on the field immediately once Schubert was done for the year. Schiffman looking to possess. And MBS with Jamie Rosenblum. Acevedo and Gianna Acevedo. Good ball for Frey. Out comes Terwarbeek, and Terwarbeek out of cage. And dangerously, Terwarbeek reached for the ball that's outside the 18, and it will be a corner for MBS. So already the Crimson have started to set up something that could last for the full 80 minutes. Through balls ahead for Clara Frey or whoever is going to be lined up wide. Here is a head ball that's buried. The delivery from Jess Byrne on the assist, and MBS has taken the lead here in the early moments. A goal in the 6th minute. Head ball was finished, and we'll see if we get clarification on who had it. But nevertheless, MBS is able to finish in the far post. Jess Byrne with a very strong service. And before Boonton was exactly set and ready, I think, as here is Schouler Little. Cameron Wyckoff, a goal and an assist as Wyckoff does not have an angle, and Mackenzie Doherty comes up with it. MBS with an early lead on Senior Day. Their 17th goal of the season. They've only been shut out one time so far, and that will remain. Boonton has been shut out twice already. Byrne able to check back. Gianna Azevedo. 2 3-year starting juniors as Byrne gets ahead. Byrne with a step. Byrne will fire, and Byrne deposits. Warbeek remaining in, and Jess Byrne adds to the lead, 2-0 MBS. Ninth of the season for Jess Byrne. She surpasses her total from a year ago, which was 8 goals and 11 assists, and she's got 1 and 1 here. And for the Crimson, they've been able to break lines easily, with Boonton getting a little overextended up the field. Now the Bombers here on the road will have to climb out of this and settle into the match. So just a shade less than 8 minutes in, 2-0 Crimson. And for Jess Byrne, she missed the first couple days of preseason. Here's a shot quickly taken by Schouler Little, and the save is made by Doherty. Anastasia Schouler Little, remember that name. She just moved to New Jersey from Portland, Oregon, and she is the daughter of one of the Gotham FC goalies in the NWSL, Michelle Betos, who's been a long-time keeper, someone that has bounced around between Racing Louisville, Kansas City, Portland, a long-time keeper and a pro that just moved to the area, that came up through the Thorns FC Academy. Frey, and Frey is going to beat Meneses out wide, the right back. Clara Frey again, in on Warbeek, and her shot taken wide. Clara probably had one more touch in her before releasing the shot. And a goal kick for Boonton. Anyways, Anastasia Schouler Little has been invited to a United States U15 Women's National Team ID camp. And before those U15 rosters and above are always released, there are always ID camps as the nation and every country tries to kind of whittle down who the top talent is across the country. And those early youngsters, and Anastasia Schouler Little was in that pool. So, of course, we'll be playing club soccer moving forward in New Jersey. Third-generation soccer player. Her late grandfather, Luke Betos, was a professional player in Greece, and as well served our country, the United States, in the Vietnam War. Cole Heck pursues the outside back for the Crimson, as Heck plays it to the feet of Schiffman. Azevedo will get Rebecca Leonard involved, as Leonard will make the connection, and the Crimson able to move the ball well. And the attacking group from McGuidon, he's felt that is our strength. Here's another good delivery for Frey. Clara Frey looking to chip the goalie and sent it wide. Azevedo found her, and Frey probably had one more touch in her then. However, this one flagged down for an offside. So 10 minutes in, 2-0 Morristown Bayard. And the Crimson, to this point, they've scored 16 goals. And for McGuidon, it's been about our attacking group that's been our strength. And that is even without Bailey Schubert. With the experience and the talent level, a senior like Schiffman as a center mid, a 3-year starting junior, and a club player in Gianna Azevedo. as your center mids, the finishing ability and the experience of Byrne. And then the speed of Frey. Here's a good ball for Byrne, and Byrne pockets her second. Good little ball played in. Barra Schiffman playing in Byrne beautifully onside, and it is 3-0 in the first half. Well, Byrne created that with timing up that run. Off-ball movement that creates a goal, and the Crimson 3-0 here. And they're off to a great start, as they did against Villa Walsh last week. And now, can they sustain this sort of a level? Delivery ahead by Schiffman. Byrne gets to it onside. Out comes Tawarbeek. Byrne will take her outside, and Byrne has 3 in the opening half. Well, the speed of Jess Byrne taking advantage of Boonton's youth and inexperience on the back line. Well, Byrne also putting just enough weight on the ball where it did not skip past Byrne, and she was able to get to it, and Lacey Tawarbeek hung out to dry a bit. And the Crimson 4 goals in less than 12 minutes. Schiffman again on the assist. And Byrne's second hat trick of the year. She had 3 goals and 2 assists at Dover in an early season opening 6-0 win. Azevedo, another through ball. Another one that Byrne might get to first. Tawarbeek started to come out. Byrne is to it. Byrne shoots on target again. Well, Boonton continues to pinch too much forward up top, and it's 5-0 here in the first half. Nearly an identical kind of a ball, where the delivery is sent forward again, that time by Schiffman or Acevedo, where the ball dies just enough, and Tawarbeek, who's sitting and playing in her 6, and even if she has another step or 2 ahead, it still is probably a ball that belongs to Byrne, where she can chip the goalie. A first half explosion for Morristown Beard. Here's Schaller Little. Schaller Little taking the shot, and she hits the crossbar. Anastasia Schaller Little, you can see the talent there, the way she attacks one-on-one. Talking to Wayne Barreto, who was a Division I player for the longtime coach at Rutgers, Bob Riasso. It's her control of the ball, her skills that immediately show itself. MBS looking for a through ball again from Azevedo. Wide side, Rebecca Johnson momentarily had a touch for the Bombers. And Azevedo will trip up the Boonton player. Boonton, a small school, a Group 1 program in Morris County. Schaller Little, and her cross is off the body of an MBS player. Boonton did not begin varsity girls soccer until 2011. It was their first year. Had a pleasure to chat with head coach Peter Nosal, who started the program at the varsity level then. JV team in 09. And actually 2010, Brad Davidson was the first coach. Then 2011, Nosal taking over, where he was the coach through the 2021 season. And he was the former boys coach at Boonton before that. And such a small school that for a long time, still the tradition at Boonton is field hockey, where they have been one of the strong programs in Morris County regardless of classification. As Scholler Little, and she is dispossessed. And good work by Azevedo. Azevedo looks to distribute the through ball. Before Ashley Suplicki off the Boonton bench is able to disrupt that. Boonton still does not have girls volleyball. As an example of how small of a school it is, it's estimated there somewhere close to 500 students, 9 through 12. Ball ahead here is a nice cross delivered. And we'll have a deep throw for the Crimson. As Sierra Mark, who joined Morristown Baird School this summer, she is a transfer from Ridge High School. She primarily ran indoor and outdoor track here and was a cheerleader, and she's also in her first year in the varsity. Heck tosses for Schiffman. Barron, her fourth year in the varsity, first year as a full-time starter. That delivery laid in, and we get the offside flag up as Sarah DeMello was looking to receive the through ball. Heck under some pressure, and a good job by Addison Schollenberger of Boonton not to foul there. Scholler Little. And Scholler Little showing she can handle the physicality so far at the varsity game, as she has been able to play up in her career very often. Megan Campos to toss in. Fry. And a good job of tracking back as Boonton comes up with the breakup before MBS clears and plays direct over the top. As DeMello chases. And DeMello aggressively will go after the ball and nearly dispossess the ball pretty cleanly on the center back, Katie Jackamus. And Boonton particularly young at the center back position, and probably the last spot as well as goalie that you want to be young. Ball delivered outside. Freshman Allison Rubin chases for MBS. And she has played steadily as a backup forward, as Rubin is the one that commits the foul. Already has scored a pair of goals. And on the topic of that youth and great philosophy, discussing with Matt Guidon about his team's area of improvement, that it's right now on the defensive end. Their strength being in the attacking group, graduating 2 seniors, then another injury prior to the season to a projected starter. And the 2 goalies, as Schiffman is offside. Mackenzie Doherty has been the backup this year to sophomore Kelsey Limbert, who was the starter last year as well. So you're awfully young in that spot. Well, the Crimson appear like they have settled first on a formation after thinking about a 3-5-2 in the preseason. And here in the 4-3-3 with Riley Sargent, a freshman center back, Mortazavi, a sophomore. Through ball from Acevedo for Frey. Frey is able to reach to the empty ball and finish. Warbeek left the ball behind her. She had a chance perhaps to smother, and it just squirted out of her hands. Ball was sitting there, and Clara Frey, after numerous chances, finally buries the goal, and it's 6-0 MBS in the opening half. And MBS today is punishing Boonton in regards to through balls. Unassisted goal there for Clara Frey, and that's the first goal of her career. And as the Bombers try to regroup, they lost their opener to a quality Pequannock team, 10-0. Game 4 of the season, allowing 6 goals to perennial Morris County power Kinnelon. And then coming off of a 6-goal, 6-2 loss at Villa Walsh for Wayne Barreto. Saw his team score twice in the second half, just look better. It's been very incremental. And because of how tight the season is in high school girls soccer, as MBS searches for a clearance from Mortazavi. And Mortazavi with a good initial touch. Schaller Little. And Schaller Little will take it wide. Schaller Little trying to attack herself, getting to the end line, sends it across and looks for the return. And the return cannot be finished. So she played it into some open space. And Boonton has its third shot of this opening half. As she played in Juliana Milisi. Six goals in the first 20 minutes for MBS. And they have matched their season high. Rubin with the ball win. And nowhere to go with it. Katie Jacobus will play it out. Boonton has a program since being born officially in 2009, as Lacey Warbeek will come out. And they've made appearances in the North 1 Group 1 state tournament. Most years have qualified for the Morris County tournament. 2012, under then coach Peter Nosal, they won a playoff game and lost 3-2 in overtime at Park Ridge. In 2019, the high watermark, 9-10-1 overall. And just 2 years ago, an 8-10 season and a respectable 7-7 in the NJAC Independence, and lost a very competitive game. They were the 12 seed and lost at 5 seed Lenape Valley in the North 1 Group 1 first round. Also lost 1-0 in the Morris County first round. And that was a team that was certainly close to doing some special things kind of towards the next level. Mortazavi. And does well to escape pressure. Rosenboom will find Rubin. And Rebecca Johnson with the breakup. And the through ball again delivered, and this time Schaller Little with Warbeek well out of the 18, nowhere to go with it. And Schaller Little will have to steer it to the sideline. Ashley Sliplicki will prevent the corner kick and does well to touch it out off of Barra Schiffman. MBS started the scoring very early. 6 minute, 1-0. Jess Byrne on the assist on a cross off of a corner. And still have to confirm who had that finish. And then Byrne was able to score in the next 3 goals. 3 goals in a 5-minute period for Jess Byrne to make it 4-0. A foul on Boonton. Then after it was 5-0, Clara Frey, who had numerous opportunities early in the match, following through balls but could not convert. And this time was able to put enough pressure on Lacey Tawarbeek in goal, where Tawarbeek left the ball behind her. Schiffman strikes, and Tawarbeek has to parry it out off of her hands. Second corner for MBS. As Schiffman will take it. And you're seeing the growing pains from Boonton. 10 freshmen on the roster. 1 senior total. As Schiffman plays it, top of the area. Dealt back in by Leonard. And Boonton will clear over the top. Molly Baker under pressure. And Boonton does well to force the ball back from Juliana Malisi. Schiffman. And Schaller Little. Johnson trying to settle a bouncing ball. And Schiffman plays a nice 1-2. And as Rebecca Johnson looked to gain width, it'll be a toss-in here for Boonton. Bombers stylistically, Schaller Little has certainly become the obvious centerpiece. And for Wayne Barreto, he's a lot of time spent focusing on how to attack as a group. Getting the outside backs involved eventually, the forwards checking back for the ball, the wingers knowing how to play off of one another. As the challenge is when you are so young, 10 freshmen, 9 of them are all going to see the field today for Boonton. 6 more sophomores. And again, among the upperclassmen, just 1 senior and a total of 5 juniors. And on this Bombers team, there's only 2 players that are in their 3rd years of varsity soccer. So that is extremely young. Rubin was ridden off the ball well by Schollenberger. Alexis Visioli sweeping over. And Visioli, the other center back, along with Jackamus. Alexis is a 2-year player. Older sister Jaden just graduated last year, basketball star at Boonton, where they had such a great run. Schiffman's shot is blocked. Schiffman looked for a switch. And Baker will keep it patient for Leonard. Then Schaller Little read the next pass for Mortazavi. And then Schaller Little lost it with a defense of MBS tracking her down. 6-0 MBS. The first goal was scored by Jamie Rosenblum. Her first goal of her career. Plays travel soccer for Steel United. And probably will be playing basketball as well in the near future at MBS. Starting holding mid, able to finish through traffic. And that has been her great strength, the physicality and her willingness that Mac Weedon immediately noticing this preseason as a very obvious number 6, in this case, 16. And as Rubin applies pressure on Vizioli, older sister Jaden, and the 2023 Bombers with Alexis on the JV basketball team. And they were the North 1 Group 1 girls basketball champions as a 5 seed. Their first sectional championship since 1990, so another girls sport that found some success at small Boonton High School, as they defeated Park Ridge in the North 1 Group 1 final. Schiffman. And another offside against MBS. That's been the Crimson's biggest challenge, and I think something for Mac Wedon from a technical aspect that he'll be able to work on with his team. That MBS, with their forward line, they're going to be able to break lines, and especially when you have Schiffman and Azevedo clearly with an acumen for through balls, and very good through balls on turf at that, where they can deliver them well. And that bodes very well in high school girls soccer, to play through balls in and timeout runs well. If you can avoid the offside, you're going to generate a lot of chances, particularly against inexperienced goalies that are not quite yet super comfortable coming off their line. Another chance of the ball for Mortazavi to try to play a through ball in for DeMello. As DeMello chases, Schaller Little plays her off. Here comes DeMello, and DeMello will pocket it. 7-0 Morristown. Another classic example of that thought. Sophomore Sarah DeMello with her first of the season and career. Well, as MBS applied pressure at midfield, and they were able to break lines. "31st minute goal by DeMello. And DeMello's physicality showing itself even upon that through ball, shielding off the defender, and to Warbeek hanging in, not coming out immediately. So MBS with a season high in goals and doing it in 31 minutes. New Jersey just recently releasing over the weekend the PowerPoint numbers, and in non-public game, North Jersey, MBS is at the 6th spot, just 1 point behind Dwight Englewood. It's still very early in that number. IHA, of course, and Mount St. Dominic, the usual suspects in the Pingree School. So as MBS will need to handle their business in games like this, they have a very tough game October 14th on a Saturday morning at Kinnelon, but then they'll close out the year very favorably at St. Elizabeth, redemption game at Villa Walsh, and then at Boonton. Rubin ahead, Tawarbeek coming out and trying to chip Tawarbeek was Rubin, and Tawarbeek making the save in self-defense. Schiffman on the next ball. And yet another good delivery that creates offense for MBS. Leonard with the very best throw-in on this MBS team, going back to even 2 years ago under now assistant coach Morgan Dungy. And you can see an example of that, particularly when the bad weather inevitably shows up in October. And that can be a game breaker as Tawarbeek is on it. And a hard foul in midfield, Jamie Rosenblum. And a restart for Boonton with Megan Campos with a long run. Anastasia Shallow-Little getting her first time, at least not on the ball, attacking. And we'll see if Boonton can build up and find her in attacking positions and use her teammates. Molly Summer chips ahead. And Jackamus will have to concede a deep throw. MBS with this result will move to 3-4 in the season, even at 3-3 in the NJAC Independence. Last year 7-6-2. Had 7 seniors. This is a much smaller senior class. And last year MBS getting the 12 seed in non-public A North. So far in the early numbers, MBS could have an opportunity for perhaps a first round home game. Shallow-Little. Shallow-Little will take a goal line. Then place it to the top. There's a chip, and it's right at Doherty. Save is made. Wide open opportunity. Shallow-Little able to create, but Juliana Malisi put it right at the keeper. Another through ball ahead. Jackamus, and Jackamus, I think, tried to play it back to her goalie under pressure. As Molly Summer was coming along the way, and it is Summer that touched it last. It'll be a goal kick. And the shot by Malisi, the 4th for Boonton. Shallow-Little. Malisi, as she tried to steer it ahead for Cameron Wyckoff. Interesting to learn more about the town of Boonton. And Boonton historically, because of where they're situated, their town had participated in a number of different recreational leagues or belonged to different towns: Montville, Mountain Lakes, and Parsippany. And while those rec or community school programs or community sports programs feed into one school in the past, And the kids typically had not played together. One of the hopes is in the town of Boonton, the small town of Boonton, where they can at least combine with Lincoln Park and kind of have all the youth programs under one umbrella as something that could be a significant difference maker for Boonton High School sports. Summer, and she'll distribute back here to Doherty. Doherty up the line, turned it over. Charlotte Little. Charlotte Little again. As Malisi in front, Charlotte Little then tried to chip it across, and Doherty will smother it well. Very cleanly there from Mackenzie Doherty. Mackenzie volunteering with the St. Hubert Animal Welfare Program and wants to do something in the science field after this. And she'll be starting varsity swim season in not too long. Ball ahead again, Malisi chases. Rebecca Leonard able to sweep from her right back spot and recover. Into the final minute, first half. 7-0 Morristown Baird, exploding for a season-high 7 in an opening half. It took just 31 minutes. Jess Byrne with 3 goals in about a 5-minute span. Then she would add a 4th to make it 5-0. She would score 4 straight after assisting on the opening goal in the 6th minute on a cross. Clara Frey would tally to make it 6-0, and then Sarah DeMello to make it 7-0. The Crimson looking explosive, taking advantage of a super young Boonton program, and they lead 7-0 at halftime. We'll be back in 10 minutes to bring you the second half. Already fireworks on Senior Day 2023 for Morristown Baird girls soccer. Back with more in 10 minutes from Play by Play Productions. Start of the second half from Morristown Baird School. We are in Morristown, New Jersey. Ralph Bednarczyk with you. It's Senior Day 2023, and it could not have gone any better for Morristown Baird. The score you see is correct, 7-0, as we're about to start the second half. Morristown Baird in the maroon on maroon, white on black uniforms here for the very young Boonton Bombers, who are overloaded with freshmen and sophomores, just one senior playing today. MBS with 5 seniors on the roster, only 2 of them that are going to see substantial action here on the season. Mackenzie Doherty getting the start and goal, and Barra Schiffman at center mid has been wonderful in terms of through balls and commanding the middle of the field. And for MBS, 4 goals and an assist from Jess Byrne, a new career high for Jess, and already shattering last year's goal total. And she is up to 12 on the season. As a freshman, and she had 7 goals, 3 assists. And for Boonton, I think for Coach Wayne Barretto, as he had a chance to settle his team down for a period of time, as right now we don't have video at the moment, so we will join that for you momentarily with the second half underway. And I think for Coach Wayne Barretto, he's got to settle his team. I'm sure he, in terms of the back line and stepping to the ball, and just having awareness of both the through balls coming from the midfield and then also locating the runners out of the MBS 4-3-3 alignment. As we work on having our camera prepared and load up video, the second half is underway, and we'll have that for you momentarily to show you the rest of the second half with Morristown Baird leading Boonton 7-0. First goal was a very quality one by MBS. Jess Byrne on a corner kick into the 6th minute and delivered a missile of a ball. Hard, but with great dipping action across the goal mouth that Jamie Rosenblum got on the end of. A very quality high school goal, regardless of competition, where Rosenblum went up and buried it. And any video issues we may have experienced, we do have live streaming here on Play by Play Productions. 7-0, Morristown Baird with a lead over Boonton. And the Bombers are trying to find something here similar to their last match, where they trailed 6-0 at the half to Villa Walsh before they put together a pair of late goals. Anastasia Scholler-Lillo was able to score one of them and create the other. And this is still valuable minutes for the MBS young players. And it remains to be seen if Coach Matt Guidon will bring on some of his starters for the second half. And if he is going to give his full bench an opportunity to play an entire game, we see sophomore Megan Colella on for the first time, 22 in maroon. As DeMello chases, let's see who had the last touch, and it'll be a goal kick, as she was shielded off by Megan Campos. In to play the second half, this is sophomore Genesis Miller. Made 10 saves against Kinnelon to hang in there, 19 saves in the opening game against Pequannock, with Lacey Terwarbeek not available. And these are all major growing pains for the Bombers as they look to ascend forward. And they've sat in their 4-4-2 as the shape that Coach Wayne Barreto has been trying to instill in a system to move forward for down the road. And you hear so many coaches talk about, particularly the Spain women's national team, a great story about the style of play that the Spain national team on the women's side, and same on the men's side, where the same style and shape is played and practiced and thought about cerebrally by all the players and coaches from the youth national teams all the way up to the senior national teams, where there is no adjustment, where you're already kind of playing in the fundamentals of whatever shape you're in. There's no adjustments, and you're kind of groomed for your particular positions, and that's said to be one of the main aspects what allowed Spain to win this year's Women's World Cup. And when you have national teams together, people often think of all the talent that is collected, but a lot of times that talent doesn't get a chance to play together. Here is Milla, and Genesis Milla coming off of her line very well. Milla was able to read where that ball was targeted towards DeMello, and she was able to prevent the goal here with that vision and reaction. And those national teams, while they're put together on paper a long time before, they don't have a chance to play together, especially now and this goes for men's World Cup teams, where you have players playing all over the world in various leagues. They don't have a chance to build up chemistry, and they may play different positions for their club organizations rather than for their national teams. So at the high school level, you'll notice some of the better programs. Many of them will have alumni. They also coach the JV and freshman teams, and especially giving back at the youth level, whether it's the middle school down to the rec level. And that is something the Boonton community, like all programs that are trying to build up and create a true franchise or a program top to bottom, and what they are trying to lay a foundation for. And that kind of symmetry absolutely leads to a lot of sustained success that you'll see across quality public school programs. On the private school side, a little bit different and much harder to execute. DeMello, and she has played very well as a target forward here in replace of Byrne, and now she tries to release Rubin. Out comes Milla, and Milla again handles another through ball well. So in addition to, I think, Wayne Barreto talking to his back four that is so young and inexperienced, he certainly must have spoken to Genesis Milla, and also I think the benefit of Milla watching the first half from the bench and noticing how to handle through balls that are coming in and anticipate them. And with no hesitation, Milla has come off of her line and prevented scoring chances, nearly playing like a sweeper. As Campos blasts out. Cameron Wyckoff able to accelerate. Tall forward. Cameron already with a goal and an assist. And someone that has been learning how to play off of fellow freshman Anastasia Schaller-Little. Schaller-Little with Johnson. And Schaller-Little will win it. Attacking into the 18, played the ball across, and a terrific delivery. That was on the money, and the first touch betraying Juliana Malisi. Now transition for Clara Frey of MBS. And the Crimson quickly transition for an offensive end toss. as MBS will make a sub, and starting center mid Gianna Azevedo will return. Gianna has been the engine 2-year starter at center mid and a co-captain as a junior. Mac Guidon puts it in just one phrase: she is our engine. Ball past Azevedo, shallow little. Rather, Campos played it forward, and here is Wyckoff to it first. Wyckoff in on Doherty, and releasing the shot just a touch too soon. Another good scoring chance for Boonton despite trailing 7-0. And they have had about 3 grade A ones. And that's Cameron Wyckoff bidding for her second goal. And within the town of Boonton, Cameron's dad has been very involved coaching in the youth program. Mortazavi handled the goal kick. Shallow little the breakup. And Frey physically with the ball win. Azevedo lays it forward. This one will be offside. A great thought there again from Azevedo. A quick peek forward to see where her teammates were. And DeMello, I think, was conscious of trying to stay onside, but the Boonton back 4 all pinched very high forward. So Boonton will make a sub. They'll bring on starting right back Jayla Meneses. And a restart from Alexis Vizioli. As Wyckoff chases. Riley Sargent with the cleanup. Among Boonton's big senior class that departed, first team All-Independence Division, Ava Durr, 11 goals and 4 assists. Was second team All-Division as a sophomore and a junior, major piece. Basketball star too, Ariana Jackson-Wack was second team. They've had some talent come through Boonton in recent years. Schollenberger. And Schollenberger was thinking about a cross before Sierra Mark touched that out. And Bombers have had a sprinkling of players advanced to play on in college. And several more that probably could have when you look at their recent history. Their all-time leading scorer, class of 2021, Madison Kleinwalks, playing at Division III FDU Madison. She was 2-time first-team All-Morris County. And a 2-year starting goalie, Alexandra Hafley, finishing up as well. She was in the class of 22. And Mazzy Cirinelli, right now playing at Drew University, was also a first-team All-NJAC player as a defender. So this is a group that is trying to follow in those footsteps, as a foundation has been to a lot of extent already laid. Campos, a good thought for a switch. Meneses steps up and chips out. Two teams will play at the very end of the regular season. that'll be on October 23rd in Boonton. Shallow Little able to accelerate. And waits for the outside midfielder to join Johnson. Shallow Little. Then sends in a nice juicy cross outside, and then this one chipped well wide. Well, Schollenberger probably had one more touch in her, if not lay off a pass. And it'll be a goal kick to Morristown Bayard. So we've played 15 minutes second half. And Morristown Bayard has been held scoreless. And some quality goalkeeping from Genesis Miller has been a big reason why for that. Also, MBS has sat a number of their starters. We have not seen Jess Byrne, as well, she looks to be finished for this day. And off of the challenge, and that'll be a foul on Addison Schollenberger. MBS would like to pick up their second shutout of the year. Last year's season high in goals was 8 against St. Elizabeth. Azevedo with a good thought to try to chip out Rubin. As Rubin battles, and that is good defending by Boonton's Ashley Suplicki. Second good play that she has made in the open field today. MBS's season greatly changing as Bailey Schubert in game 1 of their season, their leading returning scorer, tearing her ACL 60 minutes into the season. Unfortunately, last year's season also resulted in the torn ACL, so each knee for Bailey so far has had a serious knee injury. Last year she ended up with 12 goals, 1 assist. Here is Schiffman with a good delivery across, and nearly getting onto the end of it was Sierra Mark. Mark searching for her second goal, fine delivery, and it looked like Schiffman would not get there, but she did, and still able to release a very quality pass. So a goal kick for Boonton as it remains 7-0. And Schubert scoring 12 goals and an assist last year. She got hurt in the finale, in the last game, of course, that she played, and then also missed part of another game due to injury. So it's about 12 goals and an assist in not even 10 full games, probably closer to 8+. And then Bailey Schubert, as a freshman in 2020, not a full season, as MBS got just a total of 9 games played, of course, due to the pandemic. So Bailey Schubert could have had a real opportunity to threaten among the top 5 scoring leaders in MBS history if circumstances ended up better. Due to in total games played, Bailey Schubert is going to end up playing maybe 2 seasons and a couple extra games. Shallow Little dispossessed by Acevedo. As Azevedo gathers, as tries to send out Sierra Mark wide. And Mark will get this. She will not, as the ball crossed the end line. MBS's all-time leading scorer, Danny Cabot, played at Delaware, and she was in the class of 2017. She was not just the all-time leading scorer, but the first player to reach 50 goals and 50 assists in a career. To do both, she finished with 67 goals, 50 assists, including 26 as a senior. Make that high school class of 2016 for Danny Cabot. In Cabot's senior year of 2015, Crimson went 15-5 and lost at Morris Catholic in the non-public North B semifinals. Ball ahead for Schiffman. Will it settle for her? It would not. Barra Schiffman hoping the ball would land perfectly for her to try to cut it across, and it ended up sailing on her. So we've played into the 61st minute, and it remains a scoreless second half. And for Boonton, what a victory that would be in a lot of ways emotionally to keep MBS off the scoreboard here, and if they can ever get a goal themselves and win a half. Hard challenge from Cole Heck on the far sideline. As Azevedo plays a ball ahead, DeMello will get to it first. Then a second power move, then DeMello firing and missed. Just barely missing her second of the game. Well, DeMello showing a nice combination of power and speed in this game. And tailor-made to play the center forward for a high school team very much like Jess Byrne. As stepping up on that toss-in, Hannah Mortazavi. Crimson with another toss-in. And a new starting center back. And spent the summer where she is the incumbent varsity ice hockey goalie for MBS girls hockey coach Bruce Driver. She was invited to USA Hockey's 2023 development camps, and similar to Boonton's Anastasia Schaller-Little, and those are identifying camps, not just for college coaches, but the United States in their respective regions that will eventually feed into national team ID camps. Johnson works against Molly Summer of MBS. Schaller-Little. And Schaller-Little is able to break free from Baker of MBS. And Schaller-Little able to spread the field and look to attack the end line. Then she delivers a nice ball, but it's fanned on the attempted next pass, looking for Olivia Bono. Crimson look to transition. As Schiffman releases DeMello, who chases along with Jackamus. DeMello will get there. Out comes Miller. Miller out of position, but then Jackamus saves the day for Boonton. And it remains 7-0. And both players aggressively battling for position there. And Miller was able to come off of her line as she did earlier on plays like that. And one that down the road, certainly using her voice is going to become a factor to try to help her defender. Azevedo, corner for MBS. And the foul will be on Rebecca Leonard. Leonard off of another excellent lacrosse season where she starts at attack for the Crimson, plays club lacrosse, but a 3-year starter in the fall here at soccer, shutdown defender in girls basketball in the winter. Schiffman, and she's able to win the ball at the end line. Barra Schiffman plays it in, and here comes Milla, and Milla is able to cover and grab. Barra Schiffman, like Gianna Acevedo, playing for the Football Academy, one of the newer club organizations in Morris County that has been rebranded. It was a first-half explosion by Morristown Baird, netting 7 goals, including 4 in about a 6-minute span. From the 6th up to about the 11th, 12th minute, Jess Byrne with 3 goals in that period and an assist. Schiffman got to it and is able to left-foot it in. Easy handle for Genesis Milla. Then things would settle in for a short time before Byrne would net her 4th of the game at 5-0. And then the 20th minute, MBS would make it one of the best 20 minutes the program has played in a long time. Clara Frey got another long through ball, and she was able to sweep it away from the starting keeper, Lacey Tawarbeek. And then in the 31st minute, Sarah DeMello would convert her first of her career in season, and that's where we stood at halftime. And Boonton, to their credit in the second half, has handled any through ball and marked up MBS forwards running at them much better. Megan Campos. And Campos trying to play it across. The thought of Schollenberger crossed her mind. Schaller Little, her shot, that's blocked. Follow up, Schaller Little then will take the shot and missed. Good initial blocked shot, I believe, by Hannah Mortazavi. Denied a good scoring chance for a very high potential Division I player in 5 years in Anastasia Schaller Little. Boonton trying to spoil the shutout. Saplicki was coming in right back, and then Saplicki held on to it too long, with the Crimson able to sprint forward the other way with Clara Frey. Frey's also going to run track at Morristown Baird, and that's great news for track coach Scott Green. McWeedon loves her work rate, her fitness, especially as a winger working off of Byrne and then having combination of Schiffman and Acevedo as midfielders that know how to play the ball diagonally forward and allowing wide players to get onto it. That is tailor-made for Clara Frey to have a lot of success. Schiffman will be offside. So into the 70th minute, no score of this second half. As Visioli off the restart. And Schiffman, who has commanded things today in the middle of the field, showing her experience. 4 years on the varsity for Barra Schiffman, who had to wait her turn with some terrific players in front of her. Ali Dorrego, graduating last year, was a 3-year starting center mid. Ali now playing at Haverford, Division III program. Dorrego was first team All NJAC Independence last year. Honorable mention as a junior. And some of the other flexible players like that gave Mac Weedon and previous coaches Morgan Dungy some options. Brooke Sandler as a finisher. Danny Gates, a 3-year starting center back. Katie Ewig. And then also Azevedo, who was already here as a freshman, being a day one starter. And Barra Schiffman working her way in to the lineup late last year. And showing how critical of a piece she is going to be the rest of this fall for MBS. Shallow Little tried to play out Schollenberger. As Leonard tosses in. Wyckoff releasing forward. And a good ball from Rebecca Johnson. Wyckoff. And has to be played out by Cole Heck, the recovering defender for MBS. Shallow Little again to the end line. Taking on defenders, then continues in tight in that one off the near post. As it rang out, she tried to fit it into a very tight window with Doherty holding the post. Mortazavi as it bangs forward. Shallow Little had 2 fantastic passes right to the 6, sitting balls for her teammates to try to finish that they could not. Otherwise, this would have long been not a shutout. Shallow Little again. This time got past the defender, Sargent. Shallow Little with the defenders recovering, and terrific work there by Cole Heck again in the recovery. Heck, who had started the match at left back, and I think that's where she slid over. And her work rate, and Mac Guidon lauds showing itself there on those 2 plays. Frey. And Frey shooting, and Clara Frey nets her second. A shot on the move across into and inside the far post. 8-0 MBS. Fantastic goal by Frey, who was able to settle it and shoot a ball that most high school goalies are not going to have a chance at. First 2 goals of the career for Clara. And what a confidence booster that is going to be. And even with a healthy Bailey Schubert, McWeedon felt that she was going to factor in somewhere, just like Alyssa Rubin. And when you play a 4-3-3, you're going to use at least one, if not two, forwards off the bench with all the running that entails for wide players. And Frey today, the other aspect that she has had to make the adjustment to, with Matt's thoughts on adjusting to the physicality of the game with the number of through balls that she had in her direction in the first half, with the goalie usually bearing out on her. And she remained attacking, running forward and trying to shield off defenders. Or even that aspect of the game for a forward is going to take some time and aggression. Shallow Little. And Shallow Little trying to do it herself, attacking here on the wing. Had Wyckoff running the middle, and she puts it off target. Frey tallying in the 73rd minute. So MBS has matched their high mark last year of 8 against St. Elizabeth, and they have shattered this year's season high in goals. Johnson, when she was hoping for Wyckoff to make a run. MBS will have a second opportunity against Dover coming up on Friday. On the 30th, they pounded Dover in the season opener 6-0, so there could be a repeat of this kind of score again. And the question will be, can they put together another shutout and build off of the connection and the increased confidence where Clara Frey is a much different player than she was on September the 9th. Sierra Mark getting her feet wet. Now at MBS, Alyssa Rubin also playing a lot of minutes, and that's where the big difference can be, although the first-year starters and new players. This is Mortazavi with an ambitious ball. And then for Boonton, they'll have their second opportunity against Villa Walsh to try to build on the second half, where they won the second half, scoring 2 goals before they will travel on the road to face Pequannock, and then a non-league game at Parsippany, which has been a good program. Ball edge at the top of the 6th. There is a shot, and it's buried from the spot. Rebecca Leonard with MBS outnumbering Boonton in front of goal, and it is 9-0. Well, Rebecca Leonard, probably more known for her throwing ability, but that is her first of the season to go along with an assist against Kinnelon. And the 5th of her career has mainly been a starting center back. That's where she was as a freshman. And this year and last year, primarily as an outside back. Goal came in the 77th minute. Shallow Little, and perhaps trying to draw the foul. Johnson, good cross in for Wyckoff. Cole Heck Aliza Tosca into the match for Boonton, 24 in white. And that will be a handball. Question is at what spot Mortazavi, and it came up on her. And the official is going to be very generous in this case and mark the ball outside the 18. The ball sitting right on the 18. So Anastasia Sauer-Little denied a chance to take a penalty. This will be a restart. Final seconds here, 20 seconds left. Boonton waiting for the whistle and a chance at a rebound. MBS to try to preserve the shutout, and Sauer-Little sails it. So that's going to finish this one out. MBS convincingly today celebrates Senior Day 2023 in a big way. 9-0 is the final. One of the highest scoring senior days in MBS history. The Crimson moved to 3-4 overall, 3-3 in NJAC Independence Division play, while Boonton falls to 1-6. They dropped their 4th straight. They're now 1-5 in the NJAC Independence. Jess Byrne was at another level. 4 goals and an assist, a hand in the first 5 goals for MBS. Clara Frey would add the first 2 of her career. Sarah DeMello with the first of her career. Rebecca Leonard also tallying the first of her career. And the opening goal, the game-winning goal, to sophomore Jamie Rosenblum, the first goal of her career. 9-0 is the final. Mackenzie Doherty going the full 80 minutes for the shutout on Senior Day. So the Crimson looking to build on this, and they'll repeat this the way they did in the regular season opener at Dover, home against Dover, coming up this week on the 30th on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So for our entire crew here, for our cameraman and producer here, Jake Gallagher, for the executive producer of Play-by-Play Productions, Mr. Simon Rosenwasser, my name is Ralph Bnorchik saying so long and goodbye. MBS in a big way on Senior Day 2023, 9-0 over Boonton. We'll be back with more MBS Senior Day games coming up the rest of this week and into next week right here from Play-by-Play Productions.